It's time for arguably Australia's #1 beer podcast, The Step Brewers. With your hosts, Papa Sweden and the Pilly Panther, formerly known as the Juice Wolf. Oh, and the Weg. Take it away, boys.
Oh, I thought we were going to synchronise it.
Here you go.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you. Thank you. As always, my man.
Hello.
Dennis. Hi.
Hi. You're listening to Step Brewers Podcast. You're also watching Step Brewers Podcast. Like, rate, subscribe, and comment.
Please.
Welcome to the show. Leave us an Apple podcast review as well for those people who still listen.
Jeez, wow, that's a take from a while ago for certain competitions.
Yeah.
Podcast competitions in Australia that
Look.
we don't care about, do we?
Behill's birthday a little bit ago. I wished him happy birthday. Did you? We were going to.
Oh, were we?
I did. I wished him on behalf of all of
This is going really well so far. We're, talking about other podcasts.
This is a vibe.
Not feeling this vibe at all. Why don't we talk about something else, like RIS rizzy?
You're so smart. You're so effing smart.
Welcome to episode 74. What's in the cellar? Rizzy Boy edition.
It's this has been really long overdue.
Very long overdue.
Incredibly long.
This was a great excuse to skip having a guest and drink Riz. Or
pretty much.
Or do we have a guest? My name is Papa Sweden. I'm your host. With me too is the incomparable Billy Panther. Wowed yourself. Didn't know where the Panther button was, mate.
No, I have no idea. I'm just hitting things. So, look, a wow is just as good as a raw.
This is true.
Could be worse.
This is true.
I could have done something like that. I don't know. So
That is very fair. You will notice we do not have the Weg again. By now you would have seen socials. Weggy Boy taking a break to concentrate on real job, which is, a big thing for a young man and his pharmacy, what do we call it? Internship and exams. So we always knew this little break was coming, but alas, we go on. And the Weg, the stuck peg will return. So no fuck Wegs tonight, just all love.
it also means that we can drink Riz without him and more for us. It's
What a lovely time
it's
it is.
good energy. So that's nice.
No, we don't have a guest, but we do have a guest, but we don't have a guest.
I don't know what that means.
Welcome to the show, officially in person / not in person, but on the guest mics and screens. Queenie, producer Emily.
Oh,
Hello.
We've got you not hiding in the background, chastising us about not bringing up topics and such. We've got you here.
Why not?
Why not? Well, before we kick off the show, Step Brewers Podcast is presented by Preachers Hobart, simply one of the best goddamn beer bars in all Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And the Cabbage Kings.
oh, geez, do they give us some cabbage? It's nice.
Jesus Christ.
It's real nice.
Basically rolling in at this stage. Thank you for their support. One of the best beer bars in Australia in Salamanca. Once those borders are open, which we very much hope they are by the time of this airing / broadcasting.
Geez, that would be nice.
Go down to Salamanca, hit up 14 independent taps of ripping beer. Independent, topical tonight, love it. But before we do that, thank you also to our Patreon, who tonight,
Going hard on the
who
web.
tonight, M has got involved.
Yeah, M has got some Patreon crew involved in more ways than one, so which is very exciting. Nice to have them throwing in some opinions here and there.
Now, before we kick into everyone's favourite, let us talk about some beers. What is going to be in your glass this evening for this very auspicious episode?
What have you pulled out from the cellar? Come on.
Okay. I did dust off a couple of things. I did push a couple of things to the side and decide that they weren't for this very special occasion. But I have pulled out something deep from the linen cupboard.
Next to
I've been
the old
holding on
towels.
to it. Yeah, it's been a while. It's my last can, and I didn't really want to open it, but I decided that tonight was the moment for it. So from Mr. Banks, I have the Ivy League Imperial Pastry Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout.
Ah, that's nice.
That is a cracking frothy. Is that still on the board?
Yeah, I'm finding things.
As producer, can we get rid of that, please?
Not a bad suggestion. Not a bad suggestion. Well, that is a very fancy beverage. We had that, a little soiree at your house one afternoon. And
Did we? I can't remember.
we did at the end of a very long session. And it was a very naughty time.
Real hot treat, and we would like Chris to do that again.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that was
Go harder, Chris. Do more of it. Go, let's up the.
There's one up in the cellar fridge.
Oh,
I nearly opened it on my birthday night, which I'm glad I didn't.
yeah, that was a raw night.
It was a raw night.
Very raw night.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Wow, I found buttons.
You've got all sorts of buttons tonight.
Yeah, this is dangerous now. I feel like Weg. It's awful. What about you, Klimt?
Now, I was struggling to decide tonight, and I thought I came up with like two pretty unique beers. So I decided on a Black Tuesday, and I decided on a 2018 Goose Island Bourbon County brand stout. And then I found out you decided on some pretty similar beers.
Yeah, so go to the cellar, pull them out. It's time.
I'll go pull them out.
They'll be nicely chilled at a perfect temperature, as we always like to do here at Step Brewers Podcast. Everyone, please drink your beers at a correct temperature. Otherwise, we get upset. Oof. There is a Black Tuesday on the table. That's because I also, without talking or discussing with Klimt, picked the exact same two beers. So I brought the old Black Tuesday and a Bourbon County 2018 as well. So looks
I'm
like
a bit scary that you've done exactly the same beers.
great minds think alike, Emily. Great minds think
we'll see.
alike. Or we're just a bunch of chunky donkeys.
Now, I do also have a little treat that has been neglected in the back of the old beer cellar fridge, the graveyard, the beer graveyard. So I had opened it. So if you'd like to have a little taste, the top of this...
What's going on here?
A little bit of a fancy glass tonight. Some special glasses.
Jeez, we are really...
Special glasses. I got
Pulling
given
out all the stops tonight,
this
boys.
is fancy. Oh, we're not drinking this.
Not yet,
this
not
Riz
yet.
out of the special. Okay.
Oh, we may do. But I just want to have a little taste of this before I cap it off. This
Christ on a cracker.
this is a little Rizzy boy. Now, look, to be honest, unfair on the brewer. This was bottled up a very, very long while ago, and I've held on to it for some time. But look, to give you a clue of where this hails from, it does say Hales on the top of the can. A little bit of a 666 love up in there. So a little bit of Liam Rizzy boy, which is lovely on the show.
Yeah, that's nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, we love to see it nice and dry.
No, that's held up really well.
Beautiful
Yeah, it is
tan little head.
super dry.
Beautiful body, perfectly weighted.
That's a great wedge for tonight.
This is a great little Rizzy wedge.
Yeah, that's a Riz wedge.
yeah.
A little bit of dryness without the
Like
barrel.
that finish. I don't think there's any barrel in that, but that is a fucking delight. But the band does know his Rizzy boys.
Absolutely.
Should we do this? Should we get into it?
Shall we do this? Shall we get into it?
I don't know. We can if you want. Oh, I've also got a little number here. Russian Imperial Stout, the Kalash,
This is going to be a dangerous evening, guys.
2021.
Yep.
I've got a. I don't know if we'll open this one. Saving this for a special episode, but this is the Bapios, which is the Three Ravens barrel-aged peated Imperial oatmeal stout
How
at
many standard drinks?
19%, I think.
How many-
18%.
How many standard drinks is that?
There's 6.3 in that can.
Oh, my Lord.
And then, a little
Goodness me.
cheeky little Black Tuesday at 19% next to it.
So we are here, and we're going to do it.
We encourage responsible drinking at all times.
Oh, at all times.
Yes.
We are drinking so you don't have to.
That's huge. I'm pretty sure that's a don't drink beers line.
It definitely is. I feel awful. I feel a bit dirty saying that. But look,
Oh, hello.
if you are at home right now and you're watching this, go to your linen closet, pull out a delicious Riz that you've been saving for that special moment. And while you do that, why don't we get into some skip? Oh no, I'm already drunk. Sip, skip, or cellar.
Maybe put on a kimono.
Why?
Just drinking Riz in a kimono. Feels good.
Oh, let's
Sit
do.
back on it, Chesterfield.
Could do a couple of crockies.
yeah.
Do a couple of crockies with the Riz.
Cronkies?
Yeah, no crockies.
What's a crocky?
You drink your Riz through your crock.
Oh, don't, no.
Yes! That's awesome!
Just thinking, like
Don't.
on the spot, like we could just,
I'm down.
that's a nice little lip there on the edge there of the hill. I've
Yeah,
got two
okay.
here, so you can have one too.
Oh, dude. Fuck, comfort is king.
I thought we weren't doing raw thoughts after this.
Comfort is king. I've got my Crocs over in the corner over there. Sorry to listeners at home that missed the Ali holding up the camouflage Croc. But do you know what? No one on YouTube saw it either. I just saw him holding up a shape. There was
Yeah,
no.
you could sort of
couldn't
see a very vague outline, but that's okay.
Huge.
Hey, sip, skip, or cellar. Now, what would a Riz sip, skip, or cellar be without
big boys.
Without some big boys? Hey, you're wrong. Let's do some low alcohol beers instead, just to really throw a wedge in the mix.
Well,
We're at a bottle share.
I feel like after tonight, potentially might want to hit up some low alcohol options.
I feel like I might be hitting up a couple of these afterwards.
Jeez, that's fucking good.
So, with the theme in mind, let's kick off with. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. Sip, skip, or cellar is now, of course, sponsored by the Great Beyond Co Bag. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Here's me getting way too excited about Riz and low alcohol beverages that I forgot to mention.
Speaking of the Great Beyond Coburg, Ryan has told me from the Great Beyond Coburg that the Bapios, I don't know if Three Ravens call it Bapios, but I like that B-A-P.
It rolls off the tongue quite well.
It's quite nice.
You are butchering anything you say, like what was the one with the
Coupe de
sombre
Grace.
Coupe de Grace? That's an absolute shocker.
Yeah.
So Bapios is most definitely an absolute stinker of a pronunciation there.
Yes, but so what I was going to say is I know that the Great Beyond Coburg recommended this as one of the beers of the year and said that the Once More Into the Fray would have a lot of trouble on its hands trying to best that beer. That was actually provided to us, not by the Great Beyond, but by Three Ravens.
Opinions were given before we had Frey too, so
Interesting.
yeah. Now we've had Frey this year. Can we, will we have that to compare the pair? Who knows? Who knows where tonight will bring us?
Thank you, though, to the Great Beyond Coburg.
Of course,
Yes.
if you're in Coburg or you're in
websites
Melbourne,
are looking tight too. They do online orders. They get you. They were. He was getting Frey out to people before the Frey event, like express posting, so they could be involved.
he's a good man. He's a good
man.
So he's also got a lovely suggestion for the low alcohol beers, which I will get to as the final beer. But for the first one, let's kick it off with Molly Rose Double Internal. It's a strawberry sublime citra strawberry lime ghost IPA. Whoa, okay. Jesus.
Okay.
Right. Nick, the head brewer, has decided to give a low ABV beer a go. With strawberry sublime, he uses limes from his parents' farm, paired with sea
Does
salt.
he handpick them?
No, we don't know about that.
Nick,
I'd
come on
say
the show.
He's probably getting his parents to do it. Let's be honest. But paired with one of your favourite ingredients as of late, sea salt, and plenty of strawberries.
Chef's kiss.
Sounds all right to me. They've also released an orange IPA called Citra at the same time, using plenty of Citra hops and fresh orange. That sounds... I love oranges.
Are they both low ABV?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Oh.
Emily, do you know by chance the ABV is at 0.5% for this one?
Yeah, 0.5 on both.
Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. I love oranges so much, but I don't think oranges have really wowed me in the beer world yet.
Okay.
Don't know why though. Like, I feel like they've got their place, but mixing with Citra for one of the beers, but then you've also got the strawberry and lime ghost as well.
Well, these guys did really well with that oranges beer early on, remember? A little farmhouse number with some oranges
That's
in it?
right, they did.
They did. I definitely am a seller on the strawberry and lime gosa. I'm about that. I'm into it.
I'm sips for both. I haven't quite yet found I've been very impressed with low ABV beers in the last year or so. Especially with Upflow, their lager has been really good, and I'm still like getting a couple here and there, but they've all been sips so far. So it'd be rude for me not to sip, but I'm sipping to Cellar any of these beers.
Yeah.
So going to a mate's house, you're driving, you're being well behaved. Cut like a 6-pack of these, a 4-pack, whatever it is.
I think
I'm looking for my perfect beer. So.
I think the low ABV, like Gosa low ABV as a style works so well already. So taking it that little bit lower.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
down
going to
to
be that much difference, is there? Like it's spritzy, it's refreshing.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down to
that. As you said, I think the strawberry and lime ghost would probably be my preferred one if I'm reading it off the paper like I am. But hey, got to sip them to find out.
Yeah, I'm about it. I'm a seller on the strawberry sublime and a sip on the Citra.
Emily, do you want to throw in your opinion here in the ring here?
Yeah, I'm a seller on the strawberry and lime as well. I think that from what I've seen so far has been the more popular out of the two. The IPA, I think I might skip that one.
Fair enough. We're starting strong.
Orange and Citra. I want it to be good, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Today. Let's move on to a very, very, very common beer that's going around in this whole realm from the guys at Heaps Normal, their XPA.
Oh, yep. I've had this.
I have not had it, but let me tell you more about it because obviously I'm a wealth of information. And let me tell you,
You've got a good producer out here.
Yes, we do. That's part of the point. Heaps Normal is the love child of Formates in 2018. Completed more than 6 months of trial brews. Respect. I really like that. That makes me feel good in my heart. Don't put something out if it's no good.
I want to say something real catty there, but I'm just going to leave it.
6 months of trial brews before being happy with the result. High praise from the audience when they put it out, really. And unique recipe and brewing method using non-traditional yeast. Has plenty of stock elsewide as well. We've seen it down here in Tas.
Yep.
I think that's a good point to put. Like if you were seeing it down here in Tasmania, it's going to be pretty readily available. But yeah, many people have raved about it. I've even had like pretty people have cut the booze completely, and like mates that have gone off it. All those kind of things.
A lot of people did Dry July.
A lot of people did Dry July as well, and they said that this is a real cracker. So. On that note, I'm definitely going to sip. I'm surprised I haven't sipped it before.
Yeah, I liked it. I had it at a beer meeting. We had a couple of beers. I was driving. I switched to this so I could stay in the chat.
Yep.
Look, I did like it in a situational setup. Like it was good. It did what it had to do. But I will say, having tried it outside of that setup, just tasted a little bit like unfermented beer.
Okay.
So to me, it just tasted like a bit like wort. So there was that weirdness of like trying a beer throughout fermentation and like bringing that back. You know what? It's probably going to work for a lot of people. Like I'm a skip, but that's just because I've got upflow.
Yep.
So
it's a funny world.
I like the concept, and I love that it's in so many pubs, and that I could have that option. I think it's great to have that option. I'm about the option.
Yeah. Emily, what are your thoughts on Heaps Normal?
Yeah, I'm a sip for that reason. I think it's probably not the one that I would stock up on the most, but to have it so accessible at the moment, I think is a really great thing.
Yep.
And yeah, it's definitely the one that splashes all over my social media.
Yeah, definitely. And they've got pretty tight socials.
Yep,
I rate
socials
that.
are good. Yeah, got nothing but high praise for them. They're doing good things. So yeah, going to give it a try when I probably go into the next bottle shop.
Yeah.
So now we get to Ryan's lovely suggestion from the Great Beyond Coburg.
The Great Beyond.
Still got to find a catchphrase for the Great Beyond Coburg.
Yeah, catchy jingle.
The Great Beyond Coburg, where big hands make good grog, something like that. Anyway, I'll just leave that there. Let's jam.
I think they have a motto on their A-frame outside.
I've just improved
Great
it.
grog here.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Is that right? Em?
Yeah, and then apparently there was a bottle shop just down the road that actually
They did.
stole it from
They did try
Ryan.
and steal that. Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saw that.
Bit controversial.
Ryan, if I could use that for my sign in front of my bottle shop, that'd be great. Anyway, he
And
has
now Ryan trademarks it.
Ryan has suggested Free Time Pale Ale by Bridge Road.
Bridge Road.
Yeah, Bridge
Joining
Road.
the party.
Ryan states that this edition has changed the game.
Fuck yeah.
So, and I also, may I just quickly put in, I've heard this from another source as well. It was the biggest selling product in June, quite conveniently for Dry July, of course. The vibrant, juicy hop aroma. You don't hear those kind of things being said about
On an
Ryan.
NA beer.
Yeah. Low bitterness and clean finish paired with the simple, no-nonsense can design has engaged drinkers like nothing else.
I want one now.
Yeah, he can sell a product, that man. Anyway.
I mean, this is the second beer. The first beer was, the Czech pills from Foreigner. 2 from 2. Let's go.
Side note, Free Time was the first Aussie brewery to put out their name into non-alcoholic beer.
Oh, really? You just don't, I guess,
Who would have thought?
That's from Ryan. He actually, when he sent through his recommendation, he gave me that bit of information.
who knew? Who knew? Well, I want to fuck with that. So, Bridge Road, absolute champions of the scene for so long, and congrats to them announcing their new tap room
Yes, I'm very excited
in
about
Melbourne.
that.
Whereabouts? What suburb was that in? Do you remember?
It's it Brunswick Way, so it's like just another place to add to that list of breweries and venues out that way. I think they've picked their location quite well.
Yeah, that's exciting. They are, the crew up there. Some of the, the fathers or family of Australian beer. I like that. I like that a lot.
Now,
I'm a big old sip on Free Time.
I'm a big sip as well, and I'm very excited about it because I've had some recent discussions. My new job now sort of has where I've got to talk.
No one cares.
No, I'm not mentioning names, but
I like this role reversal.
part of the job has been trying to find and source beers to go into
Oh, so you're saying that people want to hit up the show now?
certain bottle shops.
You've got some power. You're saying you've got some power?
No one's been in my DMs. But from my work colleague who is been a distributor and has owned bottle shops before, he has said how good this beer is and that we must have it in the bottle shop.
I'm a seller then.
So,
Double confirmation.
Yeah, that's, only written home to me
That's fact.
that it must be in the bottle shop and it must be in my mouth because I need to have a rip into
Yeah.
it. So it's very exciting. So
You do.
I need to,
You do like things in your mouth.
I do. And
Speaking of which,
sip,
more
sip,
risk.
sip, sip, sip. So again, all sips for me, but I'm looking for the Cellar in the non-alcoholic world. I think it's
It's something I want to have in the fridge. I think by the time this episode airs, I assume I will be a dad again and be going through the joys of the first few weeks of
Congratulations
parenthood.
on your baby daughter Susan.
So that's why that's why my eyes don't look.
He's ignoring
That
it.
is now her name. That is now stated and recorded on the
Sweet
show.
baby Susan.
Sweet baby Susan.
Sweet baby Susan. But you notice my eyes look quite nice now, and I'm freshly shaved. I shaved about an hour ago. And,
that is not true.
And I will not look this way ever again on camera.
That is 3 months of growth on your face. That's awful.
I'm very much looking forward to having an NA option in the fridge.
Yeah.
Just for that.
100%.
Yeah, you know.
I reckon I don't like to say things on the show and then not commit to them, but I would definitely like to have a non-alcoholic beer episode at some point once we can, now options are coming in and we're getting things.
Baby Susan can be in my arms
and
while
we can drink as much of it as we like.
I don't know about that.
We can drink as much free time as we like. That'll be nice.
You could smash a case, and then we can put the thumbnail on YouTube just to get everyone in. Overweight dude smashes a case of beer
Smashes
over a podcast.
3 cases of beer.
3 cases
Baby's
of beer.
still alive.
Yeah, I love it. I love that energy.
Could happen. But yes, that is it for Sip, Skip or Cellar, presented by The Great Beyond Coburg. Lovely suggestion. 2 from Ryan from it.
I actually, if you go check out the Great Beyond Coburg website, there are some fucking ripping texts. You go on a beer website and it's just got the same thing. It's just like, this Chungus juice is the best thing you've ever had.
This Chungus juice. Yep.
And if you go on the Great Beyond Coburg's website, there are some ripping little Easter eggs amongst the beer reviews. And I do know that if you look up Larry, there's a very special little link there. Did you know that?
I do know, because I haven't bought a case of Larry yet.
Thanks, sir.
I'm here for the Larrys.
You sculled that beer. That was pretty.
I've only bought a case of Foreigner from the website so far, and a couple of Sombra Mesa beers, which we know now are absolutely delightful. But, only good things. Ryan also did recommend me to try some Sombra Mesa before we actually did the episode.
Oh, did he?
So
Yeah.
the man's only given us...
He's a wizard.
Oh, he's only got good suggestions, except for when we're very half-cut at Carwin together. Then his suggestions are not good.
Or producer M at Bad Frankie's at 2 a.m. having to work the next day to be a
Don't
festival.
talk about Bad Frankie's either.
Hey, it's a cafe that serves waffles and jaffles. That's all.
Jaffles.
That's all I remember.
If you're getting your
And
foods mixed up...
cocktails out of koala heads. That's all
Hey, no, they don't, do they?
No,
No.
they've got a license to be a cafe
Oh,
that sells booze.
we're getting off topic here.
So,
I mean, we've got real no topic to go after this because we're about to crack into a Riz. Let's do it. Do you like my new stab?
what is that?
Do you like that? Play it again because it's so good. Yeah.
That's fucking great.
We just do what we want. Now I'm in control of the desk. You can press something if you want to.
No, I'm good.
No, you
I
shouldn't.
tried that
That's-
once and we didn't even record an
It's
episode.
frowned upon. Now, we love Riz here at the show. We buy a lot of Riz. It seems, we have been the last couple of months, to put
Yeah.
it lightly. It's always stout season down here in Tasmania, but Riz is not the most appropriate drink of all time.
What do you mean?
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Well, smashing a Riz every single night is,
Oh, no, wouldn't
is
recommend
a
that,
naughty
no.
time.
Wouldn't recommend that at
But
all.
it is an absolute great sharing bev.
Yeah.
your
Sometimes a Riz is just like a treat for the soul.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know, like, what else? I would compare having a nice bottle of Riz to like getting home to a quiet house, chucking on some shit TV or some good TV or some sport or whatever you're into, and having like a plate of mum's lasagna.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
it's like a Riz. Like a Riz is comfort.
It is comfort. It's sit back for a couple of hours, watch whatever's going on, put a nice movie on, maybe something like, geez, off the top of my head, Die Hard.
I was going to say Point Break.
Horny, Gladiator.
Troy.
Troy.
Just
Troy
a bit
is
of-
fantastic.
Bit of Brad Pitt.
Oh, Brad! Can we just anything with Brad Pitt? Before you get into this, I've got a bit of a bone to pick.
Okay.
Not really a bone to
Is
pick.
it about Riz?
It's about Riz.
Oh.
Not a bone to pick per se. Acute observation. Not acute as in sharp, as in acute observation. Recently, Range released their first barrel-aged beers. Too much hype.
Yes.
So
What, a month or two ago now?
yeah. So shout out to Matt and the crew, Ali, our mate, for chucking them out there and selling out in 2 minutes. Or
As
something.
always with Range and their marketing, always fucking on point.
Yeah, they killed it.
And the bottles,
Very sexy
the
bottles.
bottles looked very sexy, and I was very
Deathly
impressed.
Hallows for beer.
Oh,
I heard someone say.
yeah, I did see that. That was great.
Bit of vibe. Yeah.
Yes.
But what I did notice, is that a lot of, and I'm saying this as a positive thing with a little tongue in cheek, a lot of people bought their first Rizzes because Range put them out. And it was cute to watch. It was real cute to watch. To Range Brewing, it's always stout season, and it's time to normalise
Yeah, we
stout
told them.
season.
We told them.
Amen.
We fucking told them. We got into Matt's ear and we said, this stout season thing, it's real cute, but let's normalise stout drinking. Let's make it a normal thing because we can't be constricting this to the cold weather. Like,
Their excuse was hot weather. I'm like, guys, I could drink a Riz 40 degrees.
the old brown snake, it ain't that hot, bro.
Just put it in the fridge.
Anyway,
It's cold.
It was cute to see a lot of people who I would put in the category of Chungus Lords enjoying their first Riz purchases. And I hope that opens up a lot of avenues in beer for them. And I think, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I think,
We have so much great Riz in Australia.
yeah, hazy beer has been a great thing to introduce a lot of people who maybe are getting stuck in that space.
Yep.
And I want to see you buying some Hop Nation, Kalash, and
Boat Rocker.
some Three Ravens, some Boat Rocker, maybe some fancy American shit as well.
Yeah, I love that both the Rizzes we picked for the tonight's episode is two Americans. But hey, we don't talk about American beer, but there is reasons why we do have these beers on the table.
Because they're delicious.
Because they're delicious, and I'm going to open the bourbon canning.
Here we go.
Well, it is almost a...
I know this is technically your choice, Clint, but
it's okay. We have another one over there.
this was the first beer I think that ever blew my mind.
And it's funny because this beer over the years for Steppy has become a celebratory beer.
It has.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest,
Wow, it smells good.
there will be a small human in this house by the time this airs. So
Yeah, this is
crack a little 2018.
Do you boys remember your first Riz?
wow, this smells so good. This always brings a smile to my
First
face.
Riz. That's a really hard question. I would probably say something from Stone Brewing or Deschutes or
Deschutes.
maybe the brewery.
Deschutes for me, Deschutes was my first
Black
Riz.
Butte.
Yeah, but that's technically a
Riz.
porter.
We'll see. Yeah, mine would have been. I reckon mine would be KBS from Founders.
Oh,
but
KBS.
that's
Yeah,
not
KBS
really-
would be up there for me too.
Yeah, I don't buy from those
I'm a pretty new craft beer drinker,
those
so
Nazis anymore.
I remember Kalash as well in 2018.
Oh, Kalash.
Yes, 2018 is still my favorite.
I remember getting a little bit lit with one of the brewers from Hop Nation when he was down
Now-
in Hobart.
With
Kalash.
Bourbon County 2018, I have drunk this very half cut on a Ferris wheel. I have drunk this Christmas Eve watching the carols with my nan and her not realising that I am absolutely off my chops, pissed, and just doesn't know why I'm so drunk from drinking one bottle of beer.
Oh my god!
And it was very funny that I was reorganizing my linen closet, quite literally,
Moving the towels.
separating my wild hours from my stouts, and I've got now two separate sections. It's beautiful.
Beer
And
burger.
I reached like the final two bottles in my linen closet when I was rearranging, and I was like, "What?" And I found two bottles of 2018 Bourbon County that I just
2 bottles.
that I forgot,
Oh, come
that I
on.
forgot about. So one of them is this one. So,
Cheers, cheers, Steppies.
and that
They
has
just,
aged beautifully.
it's just, it amazes me, like, as soon as you talk about, and that's why I asked, what was your first Riz? Because as soon as I asked that, my memories take me back to the exact place, the exact time, what I was doing, who I was with, what it tasted like. It's the style of beer that has so many memories associated with it.
Celebrations, all the good things.
It's so special.
Yeah, I think at the time when I first got into craft beer, it was more about big West Coast IPAs and fresh ones. So, like, I can remember drinking with, like, a couple of mates now who are now owners in Spotty Dog as well. I remember drinking specific double IPAs with them, and all of us just, like, grinning ear to ear around the table,
Yeah.
just being like, "You fucking serious?"
And that's also another thing Klimt and I have on outside of the show. We drank some Riz on the show, but we have shared some moments as well. We've just looked at each other and giggled.
Giggle
Yeah,
beers.
They're called
it's the smile at the back of your jaw that, like, it fully makes you just giggle.
This
Giggle beers, that's a
I
new
don't-
term.
These are
Yeah.
good for drinking right now. Let's drink all the 2018. This has rounded out so beautifully.
It's
What the hell?
yeah, there was a lot
Stunning.
of 2018 and Frey comparisons.
Oh,
A lot of people in kebabs were drinking Frey versus 18 and chatting
There is
about it.
some sort of like slight licoricey note in it, but it's not too strong. It's just sort of it's very subtle, but it's really nice. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a stupidly stunning beer. What's the ABV on this? 15 odd, 15.2.
Oof.
The
So similar to Frey.
you've just got huge raisin, barrel, vanilla, chocolate.
I remember when I first had it, was a lot more molassesy.
Yeah, the molasses has died away.
It really has, doesn't it?
Yeah, in a good way.
Oh, in a very good way. And I like a little bit of Vegemite. I like a little bit of molasses, but anything in balance is good.
It's not.
And that's what
it's
we
not
found.
Kickerman City though.
That's what we found with the first
Thank
iteration
goodness.
of Into the Fray, which we thought was one of the best Rizzes at the time in Australia.
And I think Into the Fray 2020, having tasted it recently, has picked up a little bit of Vegemite umami, but you get it really early and then it just dissipates for the rest of the can. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the shock of such a big beer.
Well, I'll throw this to you while we're,
Pontificating.
while we are talking about Riz, for not many people who might have never had a Riz, like what are sort of the characters?
Switch this fucking podcast off.
This is not for you, no. But
No,
what
go
sort
and
of,
get one.
What sort of characters are you looking for in a Russian Imperial Stout?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
You've actually stumped me here. This is the beer style. I think besides super drinkable bitter IPAs, this is the beer style that to me is like, if I had a choice in my brewing career / direction, I would literally just open a brewery that only did barrel aged Riz.
That's
And maybe
who's stopping you, mate?
maybe a low ABV nitro stout as our core range, and everything else would be barrels. And like I've thought about this a lot.
Spotty Dog is now only Riz.
Well, so I mean, in our build, we've got a barrel room.
Yes.
In the build,
It's a very
from
big
day
room,
one.
by the
It's
way.
a very big barrel room.
Just like that's
And I've already lined up some barrels from local whiskey producers that are, I'm not allowed to talk about. They're fucking stupid barrels.
That's another thing I'd like to talk to you about as well, because we've had chats with certain brewers in Australia, and they've said, as good as whiskey, like Tasmanian whiskey in particular, is absolutely stunning. Like,
Oh yeah, I know.
some of the best in the
world.
world. But a lot of brewers are saying that, the dirtier whiskey, bourbon in particular, seems to be a barrel choice that a lot of brewers go for. So think your Jack Daniels, your Wild Turkeys, Elijah Craig's, you name it, Woodford Reserve,
Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill, you name it, the dirtier kind of bourbon, it seems to be a common theme in beer. Why do you think that is a thing, and why does that pair so well with these kind of beers?
I think the Australian whiskey barrel stuff can be really challenging to get the right balance, whereas these aggressive bourbon barrels bring in so much like gorgeous vanilla, and they just round everything out. Like
They're sweet.
They're a little bit sweet. And I think maybe that Australia's approach to Riz at the moment is to focus on very big Riz. So I mean, Kalash is probably the smallest Riz we have in this room right now. We've got a lot in here. It's 10.7. Bapios is like, what did I say, 18. Like, you're talking about very big beers. You're going to get some ABV from barrel, but you're getting so much from the underlying beer. Like, I don't even know how they're doing that at 18% on Bapios. They must be doing something very silly. We should ask those boys. But yeah, I think the Australian approach at the moment, seeing it through Hawkers, seeing it through Deeds, and JC being the big proponent for dirty barrels, we're just seeing these very luscious big beers go into them. And I think that we're brewing big beers that would, unbarrel aged, maybe not taste that good. I know we are at Spotty. We're brewing beers that without barrel are quite aggressive and assertive, and then barrel just rounds it out.
Yeah. So are you brewing the beers to be aggressive in certain particular notes that you know that the barrel will then soften and then balance?
Yeah, and also the things the barrel takes away and adds. So
it's still very risky though, isn't it? Like base beer is super important. Like, and that's sort of what I've been learning from tasting a lot more in the last 12, 18 months is like, if your base beer is not on point.
Well, yeah, look, here's a really good example. So Liam's Riz here that is not barrel aged, I don't think I'm pretty sure it's base Riz. So you've just had a little bit of Bourbon County, and I'm not
super roasty.
I'm not comparing Liam's beer to Bourbon County in any way.
It's just to
compare. But this is a brewer who really understands Riz. So this Riz to me doesn't taste like a Riz that's suited to barrel. I think it would dry out too much. So I personally would prefer my Riz, if it's going into barrel, to be almost undrinkable before that, because it's so thick and molassesy. And
that's for me, just tasting that right now, and that's what we started with, and now we're coming back to it. It's
completely different.
How thin and watery it kind of tastes comparing to drinking.
Because that's just such a
County.
thick, completely different beers. That Riz is so drinkable. I could drink that whole 500ml bottle and just be like enjoying myself, and just very drinkable, like super, almost like what you'd expect Australian Riz to more taste like. Whereas this is the like thick, unctuous. Yeah.
So are you brewing your Riz for barrel thicker with like a little bit more malt profile? Or do you want it to brew it dry and then let the barrel sort of...
Look, we've only done one barrel aged Riz so far, and it's the same base recipe each time. But what I can say about that beer is that we brew it to finish. It finishes quite high. It's quite aggressive. It's what I would consider thick, because we know the barrel is going to bring a lot of dryness, a lot of bourbon or oak or whiskey notes, and we're trying to set up the base to account for those changes. And we'd have some barrels that like just come out super fucking dry and by themselves are a bit too much.
I had the privilege of tasting a single barrel siphoned out at your bottle share, which is
I did see a little sneaky video.
But again, because it's a single barrel, and I knew what barrel it was.
Is that a little whiskey sherry barrel, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, I love sherry, but I don't necessarily love this as it on its own.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this, if you put this out right now as is, I wouldn't like it. Which I find, and I'm like, which is very interesting because I love sherry barrel whiskey. I always have. That has been my go-to variant of choice. But for some reason, it doesn't necessarily
that beer in
work.
particular was only in barrel. It was a 30-litre barrel for 3.5 months, and it was that aggressive already. And,
Wow.
And that's probably one of the things that has been coming up recently. Came up around the range stuff about how long something's in barrel, because everyone's like 12 months, 24 months. And, you know, Smokey brought this up in a little chat we had. Like, the beer needs to be in barrel until it's ready.
Yes.
I don't care if marketing say it's 12 months or 24 months. It'll tell you when it's ready, and that's when you should serve it. And you know what? If the beer has to be back blended with fresh beer, I think that's a good thing too. If you can do something as impressive, and probably why I keep saying how impressive Frey is, it's, as I understand it, no back blending, all barrels blended together. Like that's...
And if you haven't listened to our chat with the boys from Deeds, go back and watch that, because that's...
Went deep.
Went
deep. That's horny material.
It's just four good mates talking about something very sexy. Anyway.
I was very happy to be listening.
I don't want to harp on about Deeds very too hard, because we've done it. But they are doing some very good examples of the style. So is the team at Hawkers. Didn't get a chance to try the range, but
what do you like in a RIS? Do you like the big, almost dark fruits, or do you like? I mean, well, M's drinking the bloody Ivy League, which is like
the sweet
maple
pastry
syrup.
stout maple syrup.
Very
unctuous.
I have always been like I didn't go out to the clubs when I was 18 years old. I went to the whiskey
With
bar.
50 Cent?
No, I didn't go out with 50 cents. I didn't go to O Bar. I didn't go to...
You're lost, bro.
Anyway, people in Tasmania will know what these places are.
Didn't go to,
But,
to Revs.
I went to a couple of those places and decided that place wasn't for me. My place at 18 years old was the whiskey bar with my my best mate, which is showing you how much which shows you
wonderful.
how much I like whiskey before I liked even craft beer.
That's wonderful.
But then I couldn't. Yeah, I didn't find that there was a lot of whiskey barreled stuff when I started getting into all this kind of stuff. But now I've tried a few iterations of it. But for some reason, I like bourbon barrel aged RIS is my happy place.
It's fucking good.
It's there's something about a bourbon character that I just it speaks to me. I don't know. It's like vanilla-y, it's caramel. It's just so well rounded, and it's so much to the fact that I've actually gone out and bought. I've bought many bottles of whiskey in my time, but I never really bought bourbon. But now I'm buying higher quality bourbons to sort of get a sense of what am I tasting in these beers that I love so much. Buying Woodford Reserve, Elijah Craig. Fuck, I love Elijah Craig. I've bought like 2 or 3 bottles since I
don't think I've had it yet.
Oh, I will bring some over. Anyway, so trying to get a little bit more of an understanding, and when you're comparing your bourbon, your good high quality bourbons to your sherry cask or whatever it is, they are a lot sweeter.
I reckon you've got to approach them differently for sure.
So I don't know. There's something about those barrels to me that just
magic.
Just it's meant to be.
It's silly. It's annoying as a brewer, or someone who brews, whichever you like to say. It's annoying how good bourbon barrels are, because I would prefer to use local.
You try
barrels.
to support local as best as you can.
We use more local than we do bourbon, but do you know what? If I just had bourbon barrels available down here, I would only use bourbon barrels. They're just fucking great.
Is there maybe a hack? I'm sure you're thinking about it as you do these personally, but obviously there's blending involved, but is there maybe a blend of certain barrels that Australian whiskey makers do, which are all great?
Interesting you bring that up.
That you could sort of get the best of everything into a bourbon-esque sort of rounded flavor profile.
Yeah, I've got like 14 different barrels going at the moment in racks. And I've got a mix of
Big
Tassie.
PP energy about that.
I got a mix of... I might can that actually. Might put that in 500ml cans.
I think like
Is that okay?
It would be rude not to, really.
But I've got a mix of port and sherry. So whiskey export ex-sherry barrels, and then one really interestingly peated barrel out of that whole group.
Okay.
And I took off so I had a couple of the peated, and I took off a single keg of the peated and poured it at an event with Spirit Thief, who are a local distiller down here. And fuck me if I have not had a better single cask RIS.
Oh, the peated.
Smoky notes in the back. It was...
See, peated would scare me if I...
No, the peat was... So the peat in the whiskey was super aggressive and polarizing. And then we served... we're at the... Bloody, it's a silly place for me to be serving a beer. We're at Evolve Spirit Bar, which is...
One of the best spirit bars in Tasmania.
Maybe Australia. Stunning. I think they won, New Bar of the Year or something, or they won a lot of awards last year.
Sponsored by Evolve Bar.
No. I was in there serving it, and it was served alongside the whiskey, and the whiskey was really, really impressive. But the beer, the way that cask hit that beer was, a couple of people described it as like a sexy cigarette with adult Cocoa Pops.
Okay.
Sign me up, thanks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, peat. I love peat in a whiskey. Like, give me as much Octomore as you can. But peat and smoke in beer, I don't like.
Generally, neither do I. And this beer surprised me a lot.
Which is why I'm, keen to try
Worrying, yeah.
Three
Babylons.
Ravens. But hey, it works in whiskey. Why can't it work in beer? But if it's blended, sherry, you get that nice sweetness. Port, you get that,
Plummy.
sort of more dark fruity characters.
I'm hoping that's the solution.
That's a nice little marriage there, and then maybe a little bit of peat for a little bit more, either bodies, little subtle smoke character. I don't know.
Off air, I'll tell you both the.
I'm waiting
the
for
10 barrels I have coming.
I'm waiting for.
Yes, please.
I'm waiting for someone to, like. I don't think Australian whiskey barrels have been solved yet. I know that they're there and they're ready and they have the potential to be absolutely delicious and stunning. But until you can trump those dirty bourbon barrels, for me personally, keep on using those.
Well, this is an interesting one because not a Patreon, but I would ostensibly call him a friend of the show, a homie of the show, if you will. My good mate, actually, no, I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants them to hear this from him. Good friend of the show, definitely was involved in that bottle over there with the grey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And was on that.
I feel like we should have drank that tonight because certain other people usually in this room, WAG, would be very upset for missing out on it.
Yeah, we have to share that with the whole crew. But he was talking to me about Boat Rocker, about how much he did enjoy the Boat Rocker Starwood. And I mean, Starwood pumping out so much whiskey, someone's got to use those fucking barrels, right?
Yeah.
Great whiskey. I love Starwood. He was saying in his mind, drinking the Starwood whiskey barrel, Boat Rocker versus Roger Ramjet. His mind, and I'm tending to agree with him. I think Boat Rocker should be doing more Ramjet, or
100%,
more
100%.
bourbon barrel derivatives and less Australian whiskey, which brings up the whole problem of we have barrels in this country. And we should
might
use
as well be using them.
Oh yeah, I definitely get that. So the Starwood, what's Starwood generally? What is the barrel variant there? Is that
Well, Starwood have like some.
a few?
Well, Starwood have they've got a few Starwood have become first pours at venues. Like you and I went to Gold Bar the other day, which is a favourite of all of ours. And Starwood was the first pour to do an old fashioned, which is. Luxurious to say the least. But I mean, Starwood are pumping Essendon. I think they're in Essendon. absolutely pumping out volumes and volumes and volumes of whiskey. And I think paving the way, I could talk about this all night. Ryan from the Great Beyond Coburg could talk about this all year. But really pumping out a quality product at a good price, which is what Australian producers have struggled with for a long time. So we've got to use those barrels. They've got to be good. Archie Rose going to have a lot of barrels soon. You know, there's going to be a smaller regional distilleries. Maybe the best, not a RIS, but maybe the best spirit beer collab of last year, which was the Three Ravens Shiraz Negroni.
That was great.
Using the orange peels from the gin.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If anyone wants to slide into my DMs and talk about RIS for 4.5 hours.
That's the thing. Like we could talk about this bloody all night long because it's so bloody.
But hey, boys, guess what?
What?
I think we might have some people that are wanting to come online and have a bit of a chat with us.
Jeez, do I?
Did they bring RIS?
Well, hey.
I feel like they might have raided their cellars just a little bit.
That's good, but like it's all well and good that these people want to come and talk to us. We're very busy, very important people, VIPs, if you would know.
But if I throw into the mix that they are both Patreons of the show, do we want to?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
well, maybe we should Well, I don't want to step on your toes here, but maybe we should ask them a question.
Ooh. Should it be a big question?
A real big question?
Ooh, maybe.
I don't know.
This has happened. This has not happened for a very long time. Are we doing this?
Mate,
I think
you're the dictator of this segment, so let us know.
Well, we've got some big beers in the glass. Why not a big question?
Let's do this.